The graduation address gives us an opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community, and we're indeed fortunate today that the address will be delivered by Dr. David Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell completed his medical degree at Monash University. He then worked in the Royal Air Force, the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and then as a general practitioner. Dr. Mitchell then focused his work on mental health and specialised as a psychiatrist. He's currently the lead psychiatrist for the emergency psychiatry services at the Austin Hospital. Dr. Mitchell is also involved in research and education and holds a number of teaching appointments, including with the Black Dog Institute. Dr. Mitchell has always tried to make the care of those marginalised his priority, including work with Indigenous Australians, military veterans, and those with chronic mental illness. And I have much pleasure in inviting Dr. David Mitchell to deliver the graduation address.
Deputy Chancellor, Mr. Yehudi Blatcher, President of the Academic Board, Professor Chris Davies, Professor Christina Mitchell, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our new graduates. It's certainly an honour and a privilege to be here today on this very momentous occasion, the graduation of our newest cohort of Monash University health professionals. And as I look upon the faces of the graduates and the even larger crowd of their guests and loved ones, I can't help but reflect upon my own graduation from Monash University some 20 years ago in the deep, dark recesses of the current millennium. I can remember my own sense of pride on that occasion, but if I'm completely honest with you and completely candid, it was an emotion equally tinged with apprehension. Apprehension for me that, unlike most of my colleagues who had been embarking upon what I saw as more conventional careers, entering specialty programs and hospital placements, I was due after a short time to enter the Royal Australian Air Force as a commissioned officer, where I'd serve as a doctor. I had little sense of what the future would hold, and I felt somewhat marginalised by the difference in my career path. But what I didn't know, and what I clearly know now, was what the future held was a myriad of opportunities, a myriad of adventures. Adventures that I could never have anticipated or predicted. I could never known that I'd be posted to the exotic north in Darwin, or that I'd deploy to East Timor, where I'd serve as the United Nations peacekeeper. That I'd repatriate Australian citizens from the beaches of Lebanon during the Israeli-Hezbollah war, or that I'd fly to the aftermath of the Harry and Bali bombings, rendering medical assistance upon the tarmacs of the Denpasar airport. I'd never have dreamed of being winched out of helicopters or carrying out aeromedical evacuations across the continent and across the globe. Or that after my military career, I'd work in places like the Solomons and the Torres Strait. Or that I'd be a Royal Flying Doctor, working with Indigenous communities in Cape York Peninsula. And then, sometime around my middle to early 30s, I'd have my own version of a midlife crisis, and I'd really change in a completely different specialty as a psychiatrist. And I say all this not to highlight my own career or to grandstand. I say it because I can't say to the 23-year-old version of myself that sat in the same position as you, almost 18 years ago, what I can say to you today. And that is this. Do not, for a moment, despair. Do not doubt just how amazing each of your careers will be. Your future is bounded only by the depth of your imagination, the height of your ambition, and the extent of your endeavour. But if each of you dream big, you aim high, and you work hard, you work very, very hard, you can achieve almost anything. But remember along the way a few words of wisdom. In your ambition to succeed, always remain true to yourself. Do not chase the false idols of prosperity or prestige or the glamorous location. Instead, always remain true and authentic to yourself. Do what makes you most happy. Do what makes you filled with the most joy, and always do so in the spirit of giving. Recount, as we've already heard today, the Monash University motto, Ancora Impara, located on the coat of arms, Latin for "I'm still learning," a saying attributed sometimes to the sculptor Michelangelo at the age of 87, because there's always new things to learn and there's always new things to be inspired by. And in your learning, know that it doesn't finish today in your graduation, it merely starts. There'll be other graduate positions to do, there'll be specialty programs to enter, there'll be research degrees to enrol in. The journey of learning is lifelong. And remember, your patients teach you much more than you ever teach them. Listen to them. Learn from their stories and revel in this. For health and medicine, if nothing else, is about the hearing and the telling of stories. It's about what our patients' stories reveal about them. It's how we contextualise their experience of illness and how we shape their management and provide the very best health care that we possibly can. And if I've learnt nothing else in my work as a psychiatrist, it's this. Medicine and health is a story about life. It's a story about birth and death and everything messy and wonderful in between. Remember this and always be excited by it. Know too that the road will not be easy. It will not always be straightforward. There will be detours and there will be tangents. There will be interludes of waiting and even roadblocks. But enjoy the deviations in your career path as exciting and unexpected adventures. See the roadblocks reframed as challenges to overcome and learn from, as opportunities to grow in fortitude and resilience. Your career is not always about getting what you want when you want it, but it's about accepting graciously what you have, counting the blessings and making the most of every opportunity that is put before you. Recount that to much that is being given, much is expected. And in receiving a world-class education from Monash University, much is expected of you. And so the weight of expectation is equally great. Use your education then to make your unique contribution. It doesn't matter where. It can be through clinical excellence, it can be through research endeavour, it can be through leadership or administration. We have an ever-changing landscape of medicine that is fraught with challenges. We have an ageing population and we have an expanding population, and all of this is juxtaposed a finite health budget. We see inequities everywhere in the health system, inequities between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australia, between rural and metropolitan, between those with chronic mental illness and those without. We are facing an obesogenic environment, burgeoning issues of metabolic and chronic disease. And when so much of good health is really about the social determinants of health, we see a rift between the rich and the poor that is widening. I make no exception, the difficulties in medicine and health are very real. But you, as our new graduates, you offer somewhat of an antidote. You offer the hope. For I know that amongst you, some of you will come up with the solutions for the future, of the new and the novel ways to practice, of the new ways to meet the challenges that we face. Now, each of you should also remember your university community, because on this day, you each become Monash alumni. Know that the university is not just a collection of campuses, of buildings, of student and staff. It's a collection of something much more cerebral and erudite in concept than that, something much more important. It's about our shared values of excellence, our shared values of innovation, and that very unique Monash concept of being truly globalised and international. If Monash University is nothing else, it's a university positioned upon a world stage. Remember that beyond your education and any career success that you might have, the thing that is most important to each of you is your humanity. It's how your friends and your family view you. It's how you treat those that matter most. For if you can give easily to those people, then you will give effortlessly to everybody else, whether it be your colleagues, to your workmates, and most importantly to your patients. It seems that most people start their career, as many of you are today, infused about their ambition, and they look forward to career ascension and career development, perhaps even the material gains of a job well done. And whilst all these things are very fine, by the middle of one's career, and certainly by the end, what most of us pine for, and most of us see as the most important thing, is our relationships. And it's those relationships beyond your career. Always maintain those relationships. Always maintain your connectedness and your connections. If you remember nothing else today, it is that. And in my final reflections, whilst there are any number of thinkers and philosophers that I could draw your attention today, to sum up this really very important occasion, it's really the wisdom of Dr. Seuss, the children's author, that comes to mind, who ironically was neither a doctor of medicine or philosophy. It's rather a self-irreverent, self-titled moniker. He says in a story that I often read my own children, "Oh, the places we will go," these very words. "Oh, the places we will go, and you will succeed. Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Boxman or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way." So graduates of Monash University, you all should get on your way, because indeed, each of you, I know, has your own personal mountain to move. And remember that whilst each of us are so very, very proud of what you've achieved today, we're prouder still of what it is that you will achieve tomorrow. Thank you.